sidekick comes to you with a minor improvement. Jeremy is no longer blacker than black. He is
Black.
The blacker the berry, guys. The blacker the berry.
The sweeter the juice. Blacker than what Nate Robinson saw in the second round.
Black Kings. Oh man. Yo, free my GG Nate, man.
Oh man, we got David out here. David,
What's up?
not much.
Still in.
Oh man. Okay, well, we're gonna get to that abomination of a fight eventually, but we're gonna first talk about. Well, I never get to do this because it's always very chaotic between you three. It's very hard to hold down. But where you can actually listen to us, tell your friends. We have a lot of ways you can find us. We're not just come on YouTube. We got YouTube, of course. We have Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Overcast. Jesus. There's others. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. But yeah, we are on all of those that you can listen to. And you can enjoy for your viewing pleasure. I think we had a one of our subtitled advertisements. There was the guy who was like, I can't listen to the Leg Kick no more because it's on Google, because it's not on Google Podcasts. And she was like, you fool, it's on Google Podcasts. So yeah. Other than that, guys, any news? What's happening? I miss you guys. I miss your face. It was a snowstorm last week. What's going on, brothers?
Hey man, chilling. Beautiful weather. Thank you, global warming. Yeah, chilling.
What? Why thank you, global warming, for the beautiful weather?
Yeah.
Oh man.
How are you doing, David?
I'm doing pretty well. Still nursing this broken arm. Not being able to do anything. So I took the week off work and pretty much being a bum for the last week. It's amazing. I never get to just do nothing. So
I know it's great, ain't it? I've been doing nothing for 23 years.
It's so addictive. Yeah. I don't know. Unemployment looks good, but no, I don't think I'm built for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man. All right. So typically this is where we get into boxing news, but since we can all agree that probably the UFC card was hella weak, since it took a big hit, I think we should probably get into UFC news first, right?
This was like going to like a high school wrestling tournament where you only know one person. You still enjoy watching the fight.
So funny. That was a fling.
No. It's not even hate. It's not even hate, because let me explain. It's not even hate though. It's not even hate though, because you like seeing good wrestlers, or like whatever, a college wrestling tournament. Fine, that's more respectful, but. Like, the point is you like seeing good competition, but you don't know anybody, and all the favorites that were supposed to won. So it's like, it's expected, not a whole lot of name value, but it was good fights. It was competitive. They did well. They fought smart fights. But yeah, like, you only really know one person, but you're there watching all the matches. It didn't feel like that.
Are we talking about the card right now? Like, we're just going to jump in?
Yeah, we are, right?
Yeah, I think it says a lot that this was probably... I mean, I don't know. I have a couple of angles. Number one, serves you right, UFC. Serves you right.
Pandemic booking!
Man, it goes back to our initial argument about pandemic booking and just rushing these cards. Why is there a card every week? Mm-hmm. Why? And also, it goes to show just the strength of the cards that they're putting on during the pandemic. Realistically, there's only one or two good actual name fighters on each card. Mm-hmm. The rest of it, I don't want to say filler, but the rest of it is just guys who are still yet to prove anything in the UFC, and you don't know how their careers are going to turn out.
I don't know if I know if I could go on that. Rachel Ostovich.
Can I speak on that one point about pandemic booking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because, like I said when we first started this discussion way back when, I said, we're gonna commend the UFC for being the first to try and put on entertainment and put on sports and put on fights. We're gonna commend them, but also it's a balance. Like I said, I also had a take a few weeks ago or maybe a few months ago about the NFL and how guys were dropping from COVID left and right, and I said just take a step back, slow down. I think it's a balance. Like, in a world where there's a pandemic in our face every day, you don't need to be like trying to, get your money, or you don't need to be doing that. Like, there's other things more important. So I agree with David. I think it's definitely a balance. So I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem. Okay. I don't have a problem necessarily, with the balance. I just think, like, before it was a fight or two, if we're lucky, 3 each month. Now it's a fight every week. Mm-hmm. If you don't have the roster, especially during a pandemic, like, come on, just don't book the fights like that. This event should have been canceled. I don't want to be. I understand why it wasn't, because of the money involved already. There's probably obligations to broadcasters, and also they had probably promised and paid. Perhaps, I don't know how it worked, but there was already money owed to fighters who trained and promised to show up. So just because you're not name value doesn't mean you don't deserve to fight. But at the same time, like, how are you making money off this card? Like, as the UFC, like, no disrespect, but like, you're just not. And yeah, no, I just think, like, it goes to show just how weak some of the cards have been, like during this pandemic. And another thing is just like, and I'm not an expert in epidemiology or COVID or anything like that, but look at the way they have to revisit their, like, COVID kind of, I don't know, the right word is kind of mitigation strategy, or the way they're going to be dealing with COVID, because how many fights is this now that COVID has cost, where they book something a couple months, a couple weeks in advance, and it's literally getting canceled the day before, a couple days before, the week before. Like, they're losing money doing this. They have to be.
Yeah,
so, I don't know.
Yeah, I think back in spring and beginning of summertime, they said you can't run a professional sports league unless you have a bubble. That's what they told us. And now that they're trying to, but then once things start to ease up, restrictions start to ease up later on in the summer, these commissioning boards or whatever started to ease up, and then now that the pandemic is ramping up again, they're still holding the same, like, they're still, I think, it's ebbs and flows, like, they're still holding the same restrictions that they eased up on. No, like, they have to,
it's weird because I remember the UFC actually did a pretty good job in the early going, right? They weren't necessarily having too many cards drop out due to COVID testing, positive COVID tests, and then all of a sudden, we've just seen the last couple of weeks just card after card getting hit with something, and then some cards just not being strong enough at all, and yeah, it just comes down to them trying to push through for whatever reason. Of course, it's financial reasons and things of that nature. And as a result, you just get really weak cards, especially it's evident when, there was a relatively big boxing match for reasons that I know we all were against for the most part. But, when you have something up against that and you're MMA, you're the cream of the crop for MMA, and it's time for you to step up and say, hey, we can put up a good card too, because this is your chance to go head-to-head. And then you don't necessarily have a good card, and it looks bad, right?
I'm sorry, and this might be harsh, but not really, because of how much money the UFC makes, how many people actually watch the sport. But I really think that there's no reason even a UFC Fight Night should not have more eyes on it being on ESPN for free, than the Tyson Jones fight. Like, I'm sorry, like, though, like, people should be more excited about the UFC, especially as a UFC fan. Like, I should be more excited about, like, the card than, like, the boxing fight.
Yeah,
and the fact that wasn't the case, especially after this, Blades, who really shouldn't have taken this fight anyway. But that's a conversation for another time. Especially after that fight, like, pulls out, like, Anthony Smith coming off a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, no, it's true. And you know what? Jeremy was going to say, but we really weren't interested.
We really weren't. Anthony Smith impressed me, though, a lot. I really enjoyed watching him fight Devin Clark. That was incredible. He beat the wrestler with a double underhook pummel and then took him to the ground. And then, you know, from there, just displayed how much better he was with his jiu-jitsu. I mean, Michael, over the week, showed me how to... end a few jiu-jitsu combinations, and it kind of clicked for me. After that little tutorial session, and just understanding the basic rules of jiu-jitsu. I enjoyed watching Anthony Smith, stick to the basics, and then broke what, and you saw who was the more disciplined fighter on the ground. Like Devin Clark rushes in there as he should, as a wrestler. But then loses with the whole pummel, and then as they start mixing it up on the ground, I just really liked how Anthony Smith stayed disciplined and broke down Devin Clark's undisciplinedness.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Look. Anthony Smith really needed a win. You know what I'm saying? Really needed a win.
I don't. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, he
I don't know too much about his past record.
Yeah, because he came off of that brutal loss to Glover Teixeira, then to Alexander Rakic. And he really needed a win here against a guy in Devin Clark who was on the come up, but clearly Anthony Smith had this one in the bag. He was
still a favorite.
Yeah, he was clearly the favorite, and I think that in this particular fight, it would have behooved Anthony Smith to really come out with a strong performance, and to his credit, he did. And the one thing people underrate about Anthony Smith, he's one of the guys a lot of fighters, for whatever reason, talk a lot of trash about from a skill perspective. For whatever reason, a lot of people, like, remember that famous Luke Rockhold line of Anthony Smith got a title shot at light heavyweight, right? And then he proceeds to get knocked out by Jan Blachowicz, but neither here or there. These guys tend to do this, but the one thing, and then there was Alexander Gustafsson retiring because he lost to Anthony Smith, and I don't care what anyone says, he did that because he lost to Anthony Smith. Guys tend to do this with Anthony Smith, but the one thing Anthony Smith has is he is very good on the ground. Very good. And no one gives him credit for that. When he's on his back, whether he's on his back or he's in top control, you are going to be in trouble when Anthony Smith is on the ground. And he's got heart, of course, but that's the one thing about him is when he gets you down, he knows he is a wily guy on that ground.
Did he end it with a guillotine, right?
I believe it was a triangle.
Or it was a triangle choke. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he ended it with a triangle. And not just, and the thing is too, basics, covers the shoulder, cuts the angle, gets the lock there on the figure four, and say goodnight, for Devin Clark. And Devin Clark had no choice but to tap. On that side though, Devin Clark really did blow it, because Devin Clark, for example, against Alonzo Menifield, showed a lot more of a technical acumen to his game. And then he kind of just abandoned that for this fight. And
he tried to muscle his way out of the ground, like it seemed.
Yeah, and even the striking, too. I know he had Anthony Smith hurt in the beginning a bit. He kind of did hit him hard, and Anthony Smith kind of wobbled a little. But, he kind of abandoned all technical pressure. And I think that's what separates your Rakic's, for example, contenders, from your Devin Clarks, where the experience of being patient but still putting it on somebody, right?
Yeah.
Really shows when you see the contenders of this division as opposed to guys who are good, guys who could be ranked one day, but not contender,
David, any thoughts?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, I'm still here. I just honestly don't really have much to say. I do agree Anthony Smith is a little bit slept on by not just fighters, but also fans, I think. But then again, he is coming off 2 hellacious beatings.
Yeah.
2 the worst losses we've seen in the UFC. So I think it was a little fair of us to be, skeptical or fearful of his chances moving forward. And just another comment, I know this is something we always talk about, but how many fights is that this year for Anthony Smith? Like 3?
I think he's in the 5 range, to be honest with you.
Yeah, during the pandemic, it's 3 at least.
Yeah.
I mean, shouts out to him, but once again, he's coming off to some of the worst losses I've seen. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest and say that I unfortunately didn't catch this one, but I'm sure Devin Clark's gonna be disappointed because he's got some decent names on his resume. So this was probably a key step to him being considered a contender in the division, but now I'm not too sure. But in this division, honestly, with the way things are going, if you pick up 3-4 wins in a row, who knows, right? So
no, that's true. And you know what? Honestly, I think when you do talk about Devin Clark, if not for the fact there is a pandemic, I don't know if he would have been here so close. Even with given the nature of this division and how wide open it is. So, yeah, it's...
Wait, who, Devin Clark or Anthony Smith?
Devin Clark. I don't know if he would have fought Anthony Smith this early in his career if not for a pandemic. I think the UFC kind of just threw him to the wall and saw if it sticked. But, to be honest, the UFC isn't really worried about this card. I think they just kind of punted this card away and said, you know what? Most people are going to watch Tyson versus Jones. Even Dana White was talking about it in the broadcast, right? In the post-fight interview. So they kind of punted this card and said, you know what? Let him have this one. We'll see you December 12th and December 19th.
Remember when John Jones tested positive for steroids before the Daniel Cormier fight in Anaheim, I think it was, and then they moved everything to Vegas?
Oh, no, okay. I think you got it the other way around. It was Gustafsson.
Oh, sorry, it was in Vegas and they moved it to Anaheim or something like that.
Yeah, and it was against Gustafsson. And then Cormier was pissed. Because,
yeah, sorry, my memory's playing tricks on me. But no, I just think it just raises a point of, if you can cancel a card, because they moved the card an entire week. If you do that for John Jones, man, merge this card. I'm trying to look at next week's card, which is Hermansson versus Vettori, which, by the way, the guy Hermansson was supposed to be fighting.
Kevin
Holland. His name is escaping me.
Kevin Holland.
Who was it again?
Kevin Holland.
Yeah, tested positive for COVID. Yeah. So, we already have a trend here.
Who by the way, is going to be fighting December 12th against Jacare. Kevin Holland.
Man, are you kidding me? Guys, merge these cards. Just settle.
Too late.
Give it a couple days.
Too late now. They were chasing the bag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you know what? It is what it is. Gentlemen, we want to talk about any more fights on this card?
Okay, let me talk about the fights that I did watch. Jay Pierce, I think it's just Jonathan Pierce versus Kai Kamaka. I like Kai Kamaka.
Yeah, he destroyed.
I don't know. I'm just biased for Hawaiian fighters in general, I think. And yeah, unfortunate. Once again, Is there something where Hawaiian fighters don't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Please don't beat me up, Hawaiian fighters. I'm just saying. BJ Penn is really good at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he's Hawaiian.
He's also getting knocked out the Love Shack. So. Dominated. He's also getting knocked out at the Love Shack, so that's
hilarious. But I feel like Jonathan Pierce was actually interesting-ish, like standing up. Like they had pretty like unique styles-ish, or different styles, I would say. But yeah, I want to say the floor was a wrap. And then the other fight I wanted to talk about was I don't even know this guy's first name, Dos Santos versus Day. Only because the Day guy was a Taekwondo guy who just got like strangled. But yeah.
Oh, well, that's sad. I love my Taekwondo people. Oh, David, you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah. My bad. Wi-Fi issues are really screwing us over the last couple weeks. But anyway, let's see. Okay.
Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? No?
No, because I don't want to be mean, but Rachel Ostovich lost again. So I hate doing that. But like I do it for a reason. But yeah, she lost again.
What's the reason?
Well, it's to point out the hypocrisy in MMA fans, to be honest with you.
Expound on that.
Well, okay, let me explain. Last week you had a pointable Clarissa Shields, right? Mm-hmm. And the she's not marketable. Rachel Ostovich, by my last check, has 500,000 followers on Instagram.
Let me see how much Clarissa has.
Okay. Right?
Go ahead,
yeah, I can check, but Rachel Ostovich, by my last count, had 500,000. Okay? She's 4-6 in the UFC. Right? Now, look, Rachel Ostovich is not, by any stretch of the imagination, a white girl or anything like that. So that's not where I'm going to go with it. But where I am going with it is, people. I tried to explain to a friend, a gentleman. I think we all know him. And we'll talk off air about how the UFC markets women, and most sporting organizations with women who compete in it market looks first and ability second. And that's why Jeremy might have a point, due to the fact that we still live in a culture where there's a white standard of beauty. And I tried to explain this to him and break it down, and he called me an idiot. Why is this woman still in the UFC if she's 4-6 in his last 3 straight? And one of the girls she's lost to isn't even in the UFC anymore. Right?
She beat up a guy, right?
Who? Rachel Ostovich?
Oh wait, no. I'm thinking of somebody else, aren't I?
Yes, I think you are. I think you're talking about Jermaine Durandame beat up a guy in a Thai boxing match.
No, not in like a fight. Anyway, forget it. No, I get what point you're trying to make. Why is she in the UFC? Right. Honestly, you're right. But once again, back to the fundamental questions. Like, is this a skills competition or a marketing competition? And I think it's more of a marketing competition nowadays. Because
of course. And that's exactly what I'm trying to explain, is that if it's about marketing and it's about looks, and it's undisputed, we live in a society where, again, we are still in the culture of white is the standard of beauty, then how is Jeremy's argument so flawed about last week? You know what I'm saying? That was my whole thing. But anyway, regardless, I don't care. I just like to point out the hypocrisy and everything. And so I don't like doing it as much as you or Stefano, but I do it from time to time, and I like eating my cake and having it too. Anyway,
yo, yesterday I have to say, admittedly so, I enjoyed Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. I have to say, admittedly so. Like, I gotta ask y'all a question because I'm not really sure what your position on it was. You did a slick job of not really taking position on it. But Stefano and David were so against this fight taking place. But let me ask you, like, if we were in a boxing gym or a Muay Thai gym, and like 2 legends walk through the door and they say, and you can clearly see that they still got it, and they say, yo, we want to fight each other, you're gonna take a look and see Wagwan. Like, you're gonna see what's going on. But because it was, I think Stefano and David's problem was that they were marketing it, and the fact that they were like making money off of it. And
no, I think the problem.
Wait.
Sorry, go ahead.
Let me just add one thing. I think a lot of people's problem was the fact that they were marketing it and that they were, making money off of it. But, that's what businesses do. And the things that I liked about this was, number one, the commentary was spectacular. The commentary was great. It was just like, you're not going to, obviously the technique wasn't the caliber of professional fighters who are actually like real fighters. But number one, Roy Jones fought a smart fight. You can see that Tyson still has that dog in him. And it's just like, it was enjoyable. Like, it was fun to watch. I hate to break it to you, but yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it definitely it was just a fun night. It made a good night for social media, and it was great.
Sometimes for the wrong reasons, though. Let's admit. But okay,
what for the wrong reasons?
Well, Nate Robinson.
Oh yeah, I mean that's what I was talking about.
We'll get to that. I just wanted to say, first of all, I was wrong about this completely. And you know what? Since then, I've actually changed my mind, like done a complete 180. I think if you have a league where you have retired fighters who are showcasing their skill in an exhibition format with no knockouts, so be it. And also, if they're going to make money and, people are going to be charged or paid to see it, then also so be it. I think, while the safety concerns are definitely there and valid, at the end of
David, can I add one more thing? I just wanted to add, that whoever decided to make this 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes needs a round of applause, because these guys at 2 minutes were
Roy, more so Roy. I thought Tyson was still in good shape.
Tyson looked in good shape, but you can still see that if it was 3 minutes, my goodness, like what would have happened to these guys with 3 minutes? Like, I get that it's also like a catch-22, because when you have 2 minutes on a smaller ring, you have more action. But at the same time, like, let's just say, for example, if it was 3 minutes in the same ring, you'd have so much more action.
I don't know, because then I think Roy would have paced himself a little more.
With Tyson, 3 minutes?
Yeah, Tyson would have paced himself a little more, because I've been in 2 minute fights, I've been in 3 minute fights. The pace is completely different. I actually prefer 3 minutes more than I prefer 2 minutes, because 2 minutes, especially for my style, 2 minutes allows you. It doesn't allow you for much time to kind of figure somebody out. You have to just kind of go, right? Whereas 3, you have to you have the ability for a little longer at least to kind of feel out what your opponent is doing and get to be patient, because it's not the end of the world if they land something here or something there. Whereas 2, you only have 2 minutes to go, so you got to go into a sprint, and oftentimes by third round you are spent. Whereas in like 3 minute fights, I actually quite enjoy it, because by the third round that's when you get to go. So thank the Lord I don't have to fight 2 minutes anymore. So, all my fights I've agreed 3 minutes, no longer. But yeah, no, I don't. So my whole point is to say that I think Roy could have actually paced himself a little more. But at the same token, I think Tyson could have actually been a lot more patient with 3 minutes. But yeah, that whole thing that people were saying is that Roy wants to get Tyson tired towards the end. Lies. Tyson was fresh.
Yeah.
So David, go ahead. You were talking about how wrong you were.
No, I wasn't so wrong, honestly, because I generally thought, it wasn't what I thought it would be. It wasn't. I'm not gonna pretend I watched the entire thing, but I did catch the highlights. And first of all, Tyson looked amazing, in terms of his shape. He looked in amazing shape. They both look pretty good, honestly, just being honest. If we look like that when we're their age, I think we've all lived
we would
pretty
take
good.
We would take it.
Pretty good life. So just shouts out to them for that. And they lasted all 8 rounds, which is amazing. I mean, anybody who stepped into a ring and tried to hit anything for even 1 round will know how much of a toll that can take. So to do that at 40, 50 plus, that's amazing. So yeah, in terms of technique, yeah, maybe some of their technique looked a little shoddy. I never really caught Roy Jones like a lot of his career, obviously being too young, but he has a weird style. It looked even weirder with when he was tired. We'll just say that. It just looks almost like, I wouldn't say irresponsible, but almost like, it just looked weird to me. But who am I to critique Roy Jones Jr.'s boxing technique? And then, Tyson, obviously, once again, he looked like his combos looked great, but, his feet didn't move like they used to.
But see, you know what?
Talk about Roy Jones and how he did that.
Yeah, like, I think...
Roy Jones looked really athletic, but his shots didn't have the same pop.
But that's how you have to fight
Tyson. He looked a little slower than, obviously, than Prime Jones and Roy Jones.
Well, you want to stand in there and mix it up? You want to exchange combinations with Iron Mike?
Yeah, that's my whole thing is that, like, this is how you have to fight Mike Tyson. This is always how you had to fight Mike Tyson.
But like, I just don't think he was even, with all due respect, like, fleet of foot. Like, I really thought, like, it looked, I don't want to say phoned in or lazy, but it just looked like a little...
I disagree.
Sluggish.
I disagree. I don't think it was lazy at all. I think Jones just utilized a lot of like wrestling and grappling. Like, he did a lot of pummeling, and then anytime Tyson would free up his arm and try to punch him, he'd move his head to the other side of Tyson, and Tyson would just miss. Like, I think that he was putting in a lot of work. He just didn't throw any punches, and as you know, in boxing, that's how you score your points.
Yeah, I think punches. The ref could have broken it up a little more, especially towards the later rounds when you know what's going down, right? Be a little bit more responsible. But see, I think the problem is that you could tell that Tyson still had the pop in his shots and could see some of the punches coming. So because of that, and this was my big worry, was that I didn't want to see somebody getting knocked out, right? So when they first announced this, I was actually kind of for it because I was like, okay, exhibition match, they're going to wear 12-ouncers, they're both in their 50s, so maybe, just maybe, they're not going to get knocked out. And then the rules come out. I'm like, okay, thank the Lord. And then they pulled back on some of the rules, and I'm like, oh God. And then the promotion happened, and these guys will start talking like they want to kill each other, and I'm like, oh my Lord, someone's gonna get hurt. Someone is gonna get hurt.
I think I had some qualms with the way they promoted it, because they should have promoted it how it was. Like, they tried to make it like this death match, battle to the death between two gladiators. No, Tyson's trying to come back, and he chose Roy Jones as his dance partner. Like, you could see it through what they were trying to do the entire time. And I think that's why people kind of felt like the boxing purist felt like it was kind of a, like a sleazeball. Exactly, like a sleazeball move to...
honestly,
yeah,
it works, though. Like, as much as, people might have hated, it works. And here we are today talking about it, and everybody's alive. They're both best of friends afterwards. They both made a lot of money. Like, they kind of showed the haters, you know what I mean? Including myself. They kind of showed, like, we don't know what we're talking about. And let these old men fight, man. Let these old men fight.
Yeah, and yeah, like, look, Tyson was not the Tyson of old, of course. Roy Jones wasn't the Roy Jones of old, of course, but they still looked good, especially for their age.
They would light up the average human being.
The average.
I think, Michael, no disrespect, but I think if me, you, and Jeremy tried to box Mike Tyson, like, I'm not sure who would win.
Yeah, like, I mean, he's got like over something years of experience.
No, I'm sure who would win. He'd kick my ass. What are you talking? Are you serious?
No, like all three of us at the same time.
Okay.
No,
man, we're friggin' toppling him. Like, I'm gonna go on my hands and knees.
You can't jump him. You have to like box him up.
Oh, okay.
And like, yeah, man, I don't know.
No, I'm jumping.
Like, he's still good. Like, I don't want to be receiving none of those shots. Like. And as you said, like, he was still slipping. He still looked. His instincts are still there.
Yeah.
His athleticism maybe isn't where it used to be. Maybe for both of these guys.
He hit Roy with a hook once, and I was legitimately scared for Roy's life.
Roy shook off a lot of those big hits that Tyson landed. Yeah. But hey, Roy got a few good combinations in.
Yeah, he hit with a 1-2. He hit with a 3-piece, and then held him. I was like, ooh, and then. And yeah, no, that's the thing, right? I just didn't want to see anybody get hurt. That was my whole thing. I didn't want to see anybody get hurt, especially at that age. And
the commentating put it over the edge. Izzy and Snoop and
Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah, like the commentating really like put it over the top, made it more entertaining. Like, because we all know what's going on. Like, it's two old guys, it's two aged fighters who were just watching. Just like we have to be real with ourselves. We're watching it purely for entertainment. We're not watching it to see technique or if it's going to move the needle for the WBC. What's up?
Here's the deep thing. Here's the deeper thing. We're always and only watching it for entertainment. But that's a deeper conversation for another day. We like to pretend like it's some like deeper investigation into like the human condition. But really, all of this stuff is for entertainment. So there really is no difference between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. fighting and John Jones and Israel Adesanya fighting. Like,
that's what I'm saying. The only difference really is that it moves the needle in terms of like a league or whatever. Yeah. Like it shapes like what leagues are and the current state of like a sport. But you're right. Like at the end of the day, it's for entertainment.
Yeah.
And I hope other fighters watch this and see that you're not beholden to your organization. Like after you retire, you can still make money. And if you leave your organization, you can still make money if you do it the right way. Or not even the right way, because that implies there is. But if you are bold and take a shot, like how many people, including myself, were laughing at Mike Tyson when he came out with this idea? But who's laughing now, right? So
no, it's true. It's true. One quick thing, the judging, I think, was disgraceful. But you know what? But you know what, though?
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. But I just wanted to say, though, you know what, though? A lot of people, like, as soon as there's a bad decision, oh, this is rigged. Oh, corruption. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, yes. But this was 3 former WBC champions, right, who were judging this matchup, and they still got it wrong. So, again, remember what I talk about. When I talk about value and value systems, and one judge does this, and you only get one look, and blah, 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 I'm not talking shit. Like, this is...
I was going to say, I hope this puts to bed the argument that we should have fighters as judges.
Yeah.
That makes it seem like fighters are unbiased and don't have their own value systems as well.
3 former world champions, including Chad Dawson, who, if you guys don't know, was a killer back in 06. A killer. But we need fighters as former judges, and there's a lot of bad judges in the UFC. You know who started this, actually? And it's his fault. It's Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan used to be all over this all the time.
We see this in all sports, man. We're literally having the same argument in soccer right now with VAR, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we need former players as VAR." And I'm like, "Wait, what? What is that gonna fix?" And also, we need former players on the people who make the rules for the sport. Like they already are part of it. That already happens.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to see Adelaide Bird or what's her name, Cody Ross near a fight again. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see any of them near any ring. If they're in a ring, if they're judging a match, like I want the police to escort them out immediately. But it does go. But again, it goes to show you that.
Start going.
No, I'm just saying it goes to show you, though, that judging is not an exact science, and it's not like, getting experienced people will change anything. Oh, and that goes for Julie Lehrman, too. I don't want her anywhere near a card at all. If there's a judge's scorecard, she should be arrested for thief, because she's going to be for grand larceny, because she's going to rob somebody with that card. Okay.
There he is. Well, shouts out to Michael's weird judge hit list then. Also, I just wanted to make one point and say that, I think the only way to make sure that you don't have to deal with this is just don't put it up to the judges, right?
Yeah. It's easier said than done, though.
Joking. That's a joke.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, it's easier said than done.
That. Absolutely. Fix it. It's an aberration.
You guys want to talk about Nate Robinson? Because I thoroughly enjoyed that.
I'm not laughing at you, Nate. I'm just laughing at the memes, bro.
They're doing a Nate Robinson challenge, and I feel so
What's
bad.
the Nate Robinson challenge?
Basically, people fall over and go to sleep. Like this is Nate Robinson challenge.
Like, what'd you expect though? Like Jake Paul, he does MMA or something like that, or he does.
Jake Paul and Logan Paul have been wrestling since high school.
Right.
Have been boxing since I want to say 2017. These guys know what they're doing.
Right.
Wait, no, but I just wanted to say, and this is the only thing I don't like about this, is that now it's going to make other celebrities more hesitant to jump into the ring and participate. Like, I want to see more.
It should make you want to. It should make you want to even try it more. Like, because
you get embarrassed like Nate Robinson, and I don't know. I just felt bad. In a way that I don't feel bad for other fighters because this is their job, but this guy has stepped out to do this thing
for charity. For charity. Yeah.
But I just hope we have more fighters doing this. More celebrities, former athletes. Doesn't even matter. Just regular celebrities. I'll take it.
Were they talking trash to each other before at all?
A bit, but it wasn't. Yeah, a bit, but it wasn't like anything really serious. Like there was a couple stuff that reached the line from Jake Paul's side, but
nothing. Racist? No,
not racist per se, but just a little that was a little below the belt, but nothing crazy.
I mean, that's his style, though. I'm not really gonna hate on anything Jake Paul does. Whatever. He lives in a part of the universe that I personally don't understand, don't relate to, and that's okay. But what I will say, though, is, number one, that was definitely better than the KSI fight, obviously. I watched that. I actually watched that, which is why I was so against watching this other one. And that was not good.
That one was Logan, right?
Yeah. I actually thoroughly enjoyed the Logan Paul and the KSI fight. Why is that?
Logan. See, I can't even tell the difference. I don't even know which one is which.
Yo, but real quick though, like getting embarrassed, that's a part of the sport, and that's a part of a lot of sports, to be honest. To be look,
but not like that. Not like that.
Look, man, the only thing I see is that social media is just blowing Nate up. But honestly,
and it's funny.
It's hilarious. But it's just social media. The people who know Nate, the people who know how great this man was at the sport that he actually trained at for years, know that they're not gonna take it away from him that he stepped into a ring for charity. He stepped into a ring for charity, and it didn't go his way. Nobody's gonna hold that against him. No real athlete or real sports fan is going to hold him against him. All that stuff on social media, that's just for people who, are very funny and have a creative mind and want to jump on an opportunity. That's all.
But you said it.
It's part of the sport.
Same thing applies for other fighters. As any fight, you know what I mean? It takes it takes a special kind of person to jump in there, right? So just because you're laughing doesn't mean that you can do it. You know what I mean?
But bingo, though. You guys said it training, right? And how many times am I going to hear this argument of, you give so-and-so 6 months of training, they can come into the UFC and do really, really well. You know what I'm saying? I hear that
not so much anymore.
Not so much because you want to know why? Because guys are going in the UFC and getting embarrassed. Or guys are going into MMA and getting embarrassed. Or they're going into boxing and they're getting embarrassed. Because here's the thing. Like any other sport, you have to train at mixed martial arts and boxing or combat sports in general. If you do not train at it, you will be embarrassed. There are guys who might not be as athletic as you are. I mean, look, Stefano doesn't have an athletic bone in his body. But you best believe Stefano earned that 4-1 record with blood, sweat, and tears and countless hours in the gym. You know what I'm saying?
You think, yeah, right. You think if Jake Paul and Nate Robinson got on the basketball court, you think Jake Paul didn't withstand? I mean, that's different, though, because
but the point
Jake Paul isn't a professional fighter, but he trains, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Like he trains, and Nate Robinson doesn't. That's the point I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. But no, I don't want to do that. Let's not take anything away, because they're both not professional fighters. So let's give props to Jake Paul.
No, but but exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
we don't know how long Nate Robinson has been training. He could have been training for 10 years, felt solid in his boxing, and was like, you know what? I'm going to try to go do this for real with everybody.
A Thai bowl class here and there is not training. Just
Is that what he said?
No, he's just messing around. He's just messing around.
Hilarious. I don't know, because like there are loads of people who probably train on the low, and we don't have it. Like I have a strong feeling Dave Chappelle trained.
Yeah, but Kevin Hart hits pads damn near every week. But hitting pads isn't only training. You gotta practice your accuracy and your rhythm on the heavy bag. You gotta practice your.
You don't know who's sparring. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Like these things aren't like as obvious as you would think. So
you're right.
At the end of the day, they both have made an agreement to go in there, and the better guy, the more trained. Like I'm not saying he didn't train more, but like. The better guy on the night won. So shout out to Jake Paul, I guess.
And it's probably because of his team too, his corner. Like we can't put it all on Nate Robinson. Like his corner,
flat out did not get him prepared for this fight.
Maybe they just didn't get him prepared. Like we got to look at that too, because I was talking to Michael. Like if that was me, and I said I include him and my coach Raphael. If that was us, we would beat Jake Paul to a pulp.
No, man. I say this with all due respect. You're going to get boxed up.
Of course I'm going to get boxed up, but I'm going to listen to my corner. I'm going to listen to my corner to get the job done.
Boxed up, though.
What?
You're listening to your corner. You're not going to get boxed up.
I give Jeremy all the confidence in the world that he would get.
I would take care of it.
Yeah, he would take care of it.
He's not. He didn't look athletic. He didn't look at all. But that was. What was that?
You guys are kidding me. This is all love.
Listen, I'm not an NBA slam dunk champion. Jake Paul doesn't have to fight me. But I'm saying, like, if I was Nate Robinson, I maybe would have chose a different corner.
But you know what? Not Polo Reyes, but like Pico Reyes, I think is a great trainer. It's just, it's when you are in a fight for the first time. I always say this. I was telling a friend too last week. When you're in a fight for the first time, it's a different thing. You're nervous. You're stressed. The other guy is there to kill you too, and kill you as you're there to kill him. And the adrenaline's running, and it's a different game. So. You know what? I can see a world where Nate is sparring and knocking guys out left and right, and then all of a sudden he gets in the ring and it's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? Right?
That's why you have to rely on your coaches even more, because you're not thinking. A lot of things are getting to you.
Yeah, no, of course, but it's a different game, and it's not. It's hard to explain it, but like I always say, my first fight. I killed it. Like people remember, like people always see the highlights, but I was deathly nervous. And meanwhile, his corner has a former UFC guy, a legend, and a legend in northern Ontario mixed martial arts. And I'm out there, crapping brick. I am nervous. Right? And yeah, it does go to show you, like Coach Jackson got me calmed down and ready for the fight, but. It's a different game. So Nate could have just been nervous. But with that being said, it still does go to show you that, Nate, like he said he only trained for a couple months. Nate, you can't, not just Nate, but like it could be LeBron James.
He only trained for a couple months?
By a couple, I think he meant 5 or 6, which is still adequate, but it's not enough for a fight.
Listen, David.
And I just can't believe that. Then why would you agree to do it in the first place? Like, because gas up?
Because every athlete does this. I'll never forget playing runs at York University against like really good basketball players who were, borderline York U University guys, and I trained
basketball players. Shots like it.
David.
No, hold on. I need to explain this because I'll never forget this, right? And we're talking, and at the time I wasn't doing Muay Thai or jiu-jitsu seriously, but like I trained a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Did some training, and they're like, I could definitely beat you in a fight. I was like, no, you can't. Right? Just like I would never in a million years beat you at basketball. Like I can play basketball. I've got to a provincial championship, but I'm not a basketball player. I'm just a guy who plays basketball, right? I don't doubt that you cannot fight, but you're a guy who may be able to fight. I'm a fighter. That's the difference, right? There's the difference. I'm a guy who plays basketball. You're a basketball player. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
There's the difference.
there's something that just goes into training on a scale for longer than somebody and being better at it. And I think that's what we saw, as opposed to Nate being shy, or it makes sense that he's only been training for 5 months. I was trying to give him the benefit of doubt that maybe he's been training longer, but I don't know. But yeah, no, definitely, I guess, shouts out to Jake Paul, man. That's a sentence I never thought I would say.
No, David, I 100% agree. I think you're right. Jake Paul is better. But I want you to understand something. You looking at me? You looking at me?
No, I want you
to understand something. I would knock that boy's block off. All right.
No,
all right.
You wouldn't, man.
I want you to. No, okay. You gonna understand.
Michael,
you gonna understand.
People. That's the problem.
No, you gonna understand.
You train people.
No.
And you're gonna let your brother go in thinking he could beat somebody who's trained for what must be years?
Sir, there will be nobody who will commit themselves to the process. I'm the greatest to commit themselves to the process. Okay, I'm too pretty. Listen, I'm too pretty. Listen, I'm the prettiest. Ain't nobody prettier than me, okay?
Yes, sir!
Okay. Nobody's prettier than me. Nobody's prettier than me. Nobody commits themselves to anything, and nobody's a kinetic genius like me, all right?
Tell him.
I would knock that boy's block off into next Tuesday.
Let's go.
That's what
I like to hear. That's what I like to hear.
No. I'm not somebody who talks off an ego, but I
look at with the mic.
Exactly. Look at me.
Say it with the chest.
Look at me.
Well,
David.
he can't see you. But like, whatever.
Oh shit. Okay.
But say it with your chest.
All right. Well, envision me and understand the words that come out of my mouth. Okay. Don't disrespect me, sir. Don't disrespect me,
man. Yo, Michael, your brother finna get knocked out, man.
Man, listen.
Listen, man. I go into any. If I were to no, not if. When the day should come. Look, man. When the day should come, I'm okay. What did Israel Adesanya say? I'm prepared to die. But it won't happen. Listen. Let me tell you something else. If God came right now and judged me, and decided if I'm going to heaven or hell, I know which place I'm going. That's my motivation for making sure that in a kill or be killed scenario, I'm not the latter.
Hey, I like that line. That's a good line.
It's not really weird. I thought we were talking about boxing.
No. It's just you kind of got to me with that whole getting pieced up thing. That's all. It just kind of touched.
Bro,
it kind of plucked on my heartstrings a little bit, David. You kind of plucked on my heartstrings a little bit, man.
Tell him again. No, okay.
Sorry,
we will go cold. Jake Paul, like, no disrespect, I'm not sure Michael could beat Jake Paul. Like, I think those guys.
Me is actually kind of a question.
Forget it. You guys keep thinking those guys are sweet.
Okay, Michael's been fighting for years upon years now. Don't disrespect. Michael.
Wow. It's been 3. Sorry, no, hold on.
Like,
it's been 2.
Like, those guys train. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like,
like we have to stop. We have to stop. Just because they're YouTube stars does not mean that they don't take it seriously. No, it's true.
Bro, like,
it's true.
Man, all right.
But with that being said, though, no one's gonna come out here and tell me in my face some YouTube star's gonna beat me.
Absolutely,
How
man.
dare you, sir? No, I'm kidding.
I didn't say they would. I'm not sure. I would like to see it. Like, what's that guy's name? Logan Paul's like 6'2".
No, you know what? I was
25.
People have been saying in the UFC PI that when he sparred Paulo Costa and grappled with him, it was actually a sight to behold. They went to war.
I believe it.
Yeah, they went to war.
I believe it. Man, people keep thinking. Anyway, forget that.
Yeah.
Go on.
Okay. After all of that, Logan Paul, if you like to face Jeremy Asiffo, we can talk numbers.
Reach out, my people, or false. Reach out to the Leg Kick podcast.
Let's get going. Let's get going. Some numbers.
Let's rumble, Jakey. Let's rumble, Jakey.
Jakey.
Let's mix it up, Jakey. And once I dust your ass, I want your older brother.
Woo!
Let's rumble, Jakey. Let's mix it up, Jakey. Let's mix it up, Jakey. Jakey.
Okay, I'm done. All right. So before this podcast gets completely off the rails, let's do some.
Wait.
You got guns, but I got
can we
guns.
just have a good old fashioned? Before you move on, can we have a good old fashioned WWE tag team match between the Asiffo brothers and the Paul brothers?
Hey.
Let's do it. I am ready.
Who wins?
We would mess
Oh
them
man,
up,
that's
bro.
definitely gonna be our Instagram poll.
We
Who
would
wins,
mess
the Paul
them up.
brothers or the Asiffo brothers?
We would mess them up.
Jakey. That's what I think from now on. Oh, and Logan. Hey. Shit. Hold on. Logan. Come out and play.
Don't be mad. UPS is hiring.
Hey. Okay. But yeah. Okay. But we completely lost our way here.
Yeah. We like to troll.
Okay, so let's actually talk MMA now with the Ask Questions segment because this card was weakened, so we can actually get through all these questions. So, let me get to my Instagram because I'm late. Jeremy Stahl. Talk more about Logie and Jakey.
No, I don't care. No, I don't care about that shit anymore. Yo, David, top 5 albums of the year, hip hop or
Albums.
Yeah.
Albums. I don't know. I haven't listened to the new Benny the Butcher album, which I'm meaning to. I also need to listen to the new, I guess the couple of new Busta Rhymes albums. I'm just looking at my phone right now.
I've been on
Your top 5.
I'm not really too sure because I'll also have to do some research because I haven't really listened to too many albums either. But I've been on more of an Afro beats kind of flex, and I'm really digging this WizKid album. It's kind of sets the mood for like when you're with company of the fair sex. So it kind of sets the mood.
Wait, what? We're a Christian podcast. What do you mean you're talking about?
Company
No,
of the
but it just sets the mood.
sex.
Like when you're in the swirls of courturt. But
What?
Why are you saying that? Why are you being weird?
what am I being? How am I being weird? How's that weird?
And also, what do you mean by fairer sex?
What does that mean? Like,
Because I'm just saying, I got put onto the album by a shorty, and it was kind of like a love album. But it was a good love album. It was like
David, go
say
get
that
Victoria, please. Go get
Yo,
Victoria.
don't say that out loud, man.
all right, fine, that's cool, whatever. I'm fine. I'm
no,
fine.
no,
No, I'm
no,
fine with myself. No, I'm gonna say it. What?
Sorry?
No, go on.
I said I'm fine with myself. What'd you say?
Oh no, man. I don't know. I guess the last couple of albums I've really enjoyed. I liked When It's All Said and Done by Giveon. It's an R&B album, not really rap.
Oh, all
I
right.
actually liked Bryson Tiller's album. I thought it was decent. Anything by
Anniversary?
Griselda is just fire. So I've been listening to a lot of Westside Gunn, a lot of Conway, a lot of Benny the Butcher. And who else? Nas's album was good this year.
Oh,
as well.
damn, Nas. Yeah, forgot about Nas' album.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah,
Big Sean's album was really good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Big Sean's album. Big Sean is probably like one of the most underrated rappers of the 2010s. Like he has put out
Wow.
banger after banger.
We can do that in a different pod. Because
All right, anyway, I got the questions.
All right.
All right, first question. You guys ready?
Whoa. Yeah.
All right. So the first question is actually a pretty good one. What are the leg kicks tips for other promotions to get to the level of the UFC?
Lie, cheat, steal, screw over your fighters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn.
Be antiquated your contract negotiations. You know one thing that's antiquated in the UFC? I know that's another question, but why are the ring girls still there? Just random point. Why are they still there? Yeah, I don't know.
Because
honestly,
you know what's crazy though? They actually do like a lot of media obligations. I the other day, I think was it not Ariana Celeste because she doesn't do it, but like was it Brittany Palmer was on Loveline? Like I want to say a year ago. Like literally an entire. So I think it's more so that they're like social media spokespeople who happen to be ring girls. than they are actually like boxing
But
style
then
ring
take
girls.
them out of the ring. Why do they need to be in the ring in bikinis? I don't get it. I still don't get it.
Because the UFC is a right wing antiquated well they
It would be like cheerleaders in basketball right now. Like that would look nuts.
No, that's exactly the point. I think that's what they're there for. They're eye candy for the male demographic, right? That the UFC is trying to market. I'm not saying it should happen.
We know which round it is. Like the round is digitally shown to us on the screen. The fighters know which round it is. Anyway,
listen, man. Hey, man. Why you trying to get the beautiful girls off the UFC, man? They're fine where they are. I mean, they're fine. We like them.
Like they have female fighters. I don't get it. Like, just why are they there? Like they literally do nothing but hold a piece of card up.
I do find it jarring when you have, like, let's say, Jesus, yeah, insert female fighter here. But, like, let's say it's like Amanda Hebus versus Mackenzie Dern. Like, two beautiful women who happen to fight, and then all of a sudden you just see Brittany Palmer just like...
Wait, are you guys trying to get rid of... Wait, hold on. Are you guys trying to get rid of them just for the pandemic's sake or for, like, ever?
No, I mean... ever, but I wouldn't even try to get rid of them.
Play around, do it for the pandemic, and then consider ever, which is an unpopular take. But yeah,
honestly, to be honest, I couldn't care less. I couldn't care less about the
I'm not there for it to look at eye candy. And
I couldn't care less too. But if I had an option, I'd say keep them. I couldn't care less either. But if I had an option, I'd say keep them.
My only thing is. I couldn't care less, but my only thing is people don't want to keep them because it's a change, right? And they like the world the way it is. Some people, and so
are we gonna get rid of cheerleaders too in basketball games and football games?
Why do we need?
Yes,
why
do we need nothing?
Why do we
do nothing?
Okay, but like this is weird because in some states cheerleaders are again spokespeople, right? So it's like you can't just have 80 spokespeople. Right, so it's a weird
be a spokesperson, but without being in scantily clad and doing like gymnastics.
Okay, but
spokespeople.
Okay, but let's
have spokespeople who don't do that.
Okay, then let me ask you a serious question. Do you know the names of any other spokespeople for any sports organization who happens to be a woman that isn't ahead of some other department, right?
I don't know the spokespeople. I don't know a single ring girl's name. And that's not like
me neither, but I like to look at them.
No, but that's the crazy thing with the UFC. You do. Like, if you really, like, they put it out there. Brittany Palmer, Ariadne Celeste.
They say their name. They don't put it out there. They say their name every, like, fight. They don't put it out there.
Oh, no, it's on their website. It's like, it's literally there. I'm not saying everybody knows them. I'm not saying, but what I am saying to you, though, is they do have a role more than, here's a card, shake your ass. Like, right?
I hope they do. I'm not saying they don't. That's not my argument. But my argument is just like, why are they there? Yeah. Like, they just have, they don't serve a function anymore. With a crowd full of drunk guys, I get it. You want to keep the crowd, like, boisterous. Like, I get it. But even then, that's Vegas, like a terrible reason. But let's say, like, that's your reason. Now we have no crowd. Like,
it's Vegas, man. Girls, man. It's Vegas.
No, so how would you tell other organizations to be like the UFC or whatever the question was?
No, not be like that, but get to the level of UFC.
Can I give it a suggestion?
All right, get to the level of the UFC.
Make an Ultimate Fighter kind of show. Number one. Number two, get a deal with some kind of TV channel like Spike, like the UFC
like Bellator did.
Yeah, like Bellator did.
Bellator has a TV deal.
Yeah, and so does PFL actually. So does PFL. Well, see, the thing about Spike was Spike needed the UFC as much as the UFC needed Spike. Right, and so as a result, when you know this, whenever Spike was marketing, Spike was also on Canadian television. Whenever they marketed Spike, it was Martial Arts Sundays, remember? Martial Arts Weekends, Deadliest Warrior, and the UFC. And Masters on Friday nights. But, like, they marketed the hell out of the UFC. They made sure to tell you the UFC would be on this time in this place. So when you are on PFL, when you're PFL and you are on CBS, yeah, it's CBS. It's great. it's a premier channel. But the thing about it is CBS does not need you, and therefore they will not market you. Right? So so maybe take a step back, get like...
I feel like a TV show of some kind, like how they do with The Ultimate Fighter, will generate some attention.
Yeah, but also put that TV show on a place that cares, you know?
Right.
Sorry, go ahead, David.
I mean, the numbers for the Ultimate Fighters have been declining like for years. So
right, but the first few seasons were off the charts.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree.
I only watched the first few seasons. That's what got me, interested in mixed martial arts. I'm not like Michael, who like actually came up on like Muay Thai and actual, traditional fighting leagues. And then kind of gradually found the UFC. Like me personally, I found the Ultimate Fighter, which was just entertaining. And then,
to be honest, I'm a catch wrestling guy. I wanted to be a pro wrestler before I wanted to be a. But whatever. Yeah. No, I mean, okay. Sorry, David. What's your tip?
No, there's no tip. There's really no tip. Just I don't know. I just don't. No tip. Sorry.
I don't know. Maybe go try other countries. Try your hand in other countries. Maybe you can be the biggest. We've talked about that too. Like maybe you can be the biggest somewhere else. It doesn't have to be America.
Well, like one championship.
Yeah, I mean, and we have different. We have like ONE FC, which is trying to do their thing in the Asian region. Man, just some of their MMA it's not.
It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
It's not there yet. But their Muay Thai and like their kickboxing is pretty good. So that's exciting.
But you know what? They'll get there though. They will get there.
Potentially. It's going to be tough. The UFC is like it's the classic case of like monopoly, right? It's classic capitalism where they're just eating up the best fighters from around the world. Pretty much, at least 98% of them you'd say they're in the UFC. And it's almost like a division.
I mean,
maybe you could be like a PFL where you're becoming like a proven testing ground for, you know what I mean? Like a
yeah, I get what you mean.
Top fighters where you're generating elite fighters by holding your shows. Like I think that would make a lot of sense. And I do think you're making a good point about regional shows. Barely, I think like, they could get way more popular. But in terms of competing with the UFC, I mean, we've seen how much money Bellator thrown at the problem, and unfortunately, like they're not able to do anything yet. Really, like they still have a lot of talent. I feel in Bellator, but a lot of bad cards, like a lot of bad.
Yeah.
Cards. So it's more the consistency of the UFC, which is why this past card was so frustrating because they didn't used to do this. Like it used to be like quality cards every night, every week, to the point where when the pandemic happened, we were all begging for the fights to come back because like they were the best things that we could possibly have. So I don't know. I think once again, it's tough to keep up with the spending, and then it's tough to like keep up with the quality of the UFC. But if you can find a way to do it that way, then then maybe you got a shot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, I think the question should not be get to the level, but the question is, how do you convince fighters that you're the place to be rather than the UFC? Right? I think that's the first thing. How do you convince the fighters? So, like, if you don't worry about the marketing, don't worry about first thing is first, you got to convince the fighters to be there because if you build it, they will come. So, I think what
you can't say. Sorry to interrupt, which I've been doing a lot, but I would like to apologize to nobody. You can't say you can't think of the marketing, but you just got to convince the fighters.
Sorry, what I mean is... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I was going to say...
No, that's it. That's literally it. I know you're about to like, jump on my thought, but that's my thought, because the marketing is what convinces the fighters. Like, it's the money you get from the people who are paying for your thing that's going to bring fighters. Like, these are professionals. These aren't guys who are just going to do it because you got a great brand story and, you're trying to go somewhere and you think you got an idea. And, like, no, like, they, at the end of the day, like, they've got families to feed.
Yeah.
And if you can bring money and then bring exposure to that leads to other opportunities. I feel like I'm kind of dwelling on that marketing point, but no, I just wanted to make that little side point.
Sorry, I misspoke. The point I was trying to make was don't think about it in a conventional sense of convincing the fans yet. Focus on convincing fighters, right? And the way you do that is you got to show them that the UFC, in comparison to you, will pay you peanuts when you take a look at all of your marketing options, i.e. sponsorships, i.e. overall fight pay, i.e. unionization, i.e. like, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. If you do things like that, then I think the fighters will come to your side, and then you can get the television deal and the fight shows. And I think first step is you got to make yourself the fighters league, if that makes sense, you know? Right? You got to make yourself the fighters league.
Yeah. But also, like, it's a very romantic story, and I agree. But, like, romance never wins.
Yeah.
Like, it's usually the big bad wolf that wins.
Yeah, evil always wins. Evil always wins. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. Next question. Let's see. Well, there's another one. Okay. By the way, we have 10 minutes left, so you can decide to pass or not pass. Actually 20, because hour 30. One Overeem-sized Mighty Mouse or 100 Mighty Mouse-sized Overeems. And the Overeem is the Ubereem, by the way. So, Ubereem-sized Mighty Mouse or 100 Mighty Mouse-sized Ubereems. First off, let me just say that I think Ubereem is overrated. I really do. I'm going to be honest. I think Alistair Overeem now is the best version of Alistair Overeem we've ever seen, to be honest with you.
I don't know. That's a good one. That's a good one, actually. I don't know. I feel like I was more excited for Ubereem, but yeah, I mean, this version of Overeem is way more calculated and way more well-rounded. Mm-hmm. I mean, this version would definitely beat the older version in a grappling match, for example. So, yeah. Or if it hit like the floor. So I don't know. That's a good point.
The only reason why I think people like the old Ubereem is because he was a lot more of a pressure fighter and knockout artist, and he was huge. So a lot of people have in their head that, if drug testing wasn't a thing, he would just run through everybody. And it's like, no, he still had holes in his game. He still had a glass jaw, right? He has more holes in his game then than he does now. So I don't understand.
It's no disrespect. It's like those people, I don't want to say who don't know fighting, but we have guys who are repped, who are monsters in the gym. And they're not necessarily the best fighters. The best fighter isn't always the guy with the most muscles or who has the best physical attributes. It's usually like a combination of like physical and mental, right? So, and technical as well. So, right?
Yeah. But like, with that being said, though, by the way, the question's from pro fighter Orange Julius. Stefano calls him Orange Julius, and he's a good dude. But my whole point was just, I think, Ubereem is overrated in a little bit in the terms of his technical acumen. But you know what? I would actually say that I'd rather 100 Ubereems to win, of course, because, hilarious. But could you imagine Mighty Mouse, like somebody with the skills of Mighty Mouse, the speed of Mighty Mouse, like all of the traits of Mighty Mouse, but was Overeem size? That would have been like instant greatest heavyweight of all time. Just instant, you know?
So like John Jones?
No, sir. No, sir. John Jones times two.
No. This question is basically asking who would win? One guy, one professionally trained fighter versus 100 professionally trained fighters. I'm going to go with the 100.
Yeah. All right. Who's got? You want to answer this one, or you Gucci?
Oh no, I'm
good. Give us your deep dive, Jeremy. Who would win? What's your analysis?
I have no idea what you guys are talking about. I just know who Alistair Overeem is.
All right. All right, I'm getting a case of the hiccup, so let's hurry this along. Another question from Orange Julius. If Khabib fights one more time, who should it be? Let me stop this there. It's GSP. It's GSP.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, it's GSP.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, GSP.
Don't give me
wait. But if it wasn't GSP, who should he fight?
Then nobody else. He should retire.
No, let's not do that. Answer the question.
GSP or no one.
Who would be the one? Who would be the one other fight?
Right. Yeah. Like, even if they were gonna lose, even if they were a 2,000 plus, even if he was a 2,000 plus favorite or something. I don't know how betting works, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I would be interested in Khabib versus Kamaru Usman fight. Just because I want to see, can Khabib out-wrestle a bigger wrestler? Something tells me the answer is yes, but I don't know.
You know what? Okay, fine. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. I really want to see that Tony Ferguson fight. I really want to see that Tony Ferguson fight. And for the Lord just said no. You know,
we're meant to have.
Yeah, no, we deserved it and we never got it. So yeah, I would probably say if Tony Ferguson, let's say Tony Ferguson beats Cowboy, not Cowboy, but Oliveira, then why not?
Yeah, I agree. That's my pick too, Tony Ferguson.
Yeah. Although Khabib versus Colby would be super interesting too.
I never got to talk. I never got to talk about the upcoming boxing fights.
Oh, word?
Yeah. The ones they're going. I mean, I've been saying it for weeks now.
Let's get through.
Oh, you still have more questions?
Yeah, there's more. Okay. I'm gonna ignore this one because it's stupid. Just how good is Conor McGregor? God bless his heart. Whoever asked this question, but no.
Good. He's gonna be fighting Poirier soon. We can talk about it more then.
Yeah. Okay, this is a bit of a long one. Okay, one fight. Let's limit this to one fight. One fight. What would be the most interesting cross promotion card with UFC, Bellator, and One Championship? This comes from Suleiman, a loyal fan. Yeah.
Oh, MVP versus Stephen Thompson. I'll go with that one.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Jeremy.
Yeah, just from a stylistic, because I mean, just the whole who's better. Like, we know who's better. Like, who's the better brand. So I would want to see who has the most fun fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know any fighters from Bellator except for MVP, so don't know.
You know what? I would really love to see what Douglas Lima can do against the UFC top welterweights, but that's not my pick. My pick is Pitbull versus Volkanovski, because I really think that would be hella competitive.
I'll tell you what Douglas Lima could do, and shouts out to Douglas Lima. Please don't beat me up, but he can get out wrestled by most of the welterweights.
Fair enough.
And the UFC.
Fair enough.
Sorry, you said Pitbull versus who? Max Holloway?
Volkanovski. I think that would be hella competitive.
That would be a good one, because they're both kind of diminutive guys. Similar-ish styles, I guess. Ish.
Yeah. I do think, though, that Pitbull would have his work cut out for him, but, he's definitely got the power to kind of stop Volkanovski in his tracks, and he's not to be taken lightly on the ground either. So,
No, he's really good on the ground.
Yeah.
I think he might even have the edge on the ground. I don't know who has the edge, standing up.
Right? And so, yeah. The only thing is that the wrestling-wise, I would say that Volkanovski is pretty ahead on the wrestling and the striking in terms of technical striking.
A lot though, because Pitbull's defensive wrestling is pretty good.
Yeah, fair enough. But I also think kickboxing-wise,
I remember the Archuleta fight, and he smoked Archuleta. It wasn't even close.
Oh yeah. Well, I will say this though, even from a technical kickboxing perspective, Eugene Behrman is probably the best striking coach for MMA, period. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. Trevor Whitman's pretty good too. But
yeah, man, I feel like no shots to anybody. There are a lot of good minds.
Yeah. Jason Murillo's pretty smart too. Never mind. Duke Rufus, of course, but I still think Eugene Behrman is at least right
now
something
different, man. And
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead. All right.
I was going to say they're doing something different, and shouts out to anybody from a small nation who can do big things, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is he a better coach than Faraz Zahabi? Like, what's the difference other than the timing?
Yeah, fair. It's fair. Like, he's just got guys who are coming up right now. So, but see, Faraz is more of like, Faraz can do everything, of course, but Faraz is more of a ground guy, right? That's what I would think. Yeah. But yeah, okay. Let's see. Last question from Kenny. Greatest martial arts film of all time, if we got any.
You guys better not say some Bruce Lee garbage. I'm joking.
Oh my! Don't disrespect the legend.
But you know what I've noticed? A lot of those martial arts movies, and a lot of movies in general, are just so cringy with the fighting. Like, it's just beyond the point of not even like believability, but even like logic. Like, sometimes it's just so silly.
Well, my friend always said martial arts movies are like porn to sex. Which I thought about it, and I was like, huh.
Sure.
Like, that makes a lot of sense, where it's like you're never going to do any of that garbage, and most of it is completely unbelievable, and it's stupid. But
Michael, we can have a conversation off mic about, ways you can improve your moves, but no.
No. Oh, sorry. I was talking about the fighting. Oh wait, yeah, no. I just realized that the stupidity. No, but
hilarious. I would even say martial arts movies are bad at it in a particular way, in that they take it to the extreme. But even like your average movie, look at a fight scene in your average action movie. It is garbage.
Yeah,
it's not even believable.
But the whole thing is, though, it's over the top and grandiose, and there's something in that,
Yeah, no, right? I get it. It's drama after all.
Yeah, it's drama.
Yeah, I would say my favorite martial arts movie has to be Ip Man, probably, because that's the one I remember right now.
That's a good one. Well, you know what?
Ip Man is pretty good.
But you know what's weird? You know what's weird, though? A lot of the Bruce Lee movies were believable, at least for its time, because, he's fainting, he's changing levels, he's
fighting Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Sounds good.
No. But my point is that he is actually doing fights. Weirdly, of course, they're taken to its logical extreme, but he is doing fights, right? So, it's not like today where you're seeing guys do triple kicks, and you're like, yeah, get the hell out of here. So I have to say it's not that bad. Jeremy, you got one?
For me, it's tough, man. I have very fond memories of Saturday mornings, turning on the TV. But so for me, it's a complete tie between these four movies: The Last Dragon, The Karate Kid, Never Back Down.
You like Never Back Down?
Of course.
Okay.
Never Back Down. Actually, hold on. I like Never Back Down.
Yeah, Never Back Down, and what was the other one? Karate Kid, Last Dragon, Never Back Down, and The Raid is cool, but The Raid was not the movie I was thinking of. I can't remember the fourth.
The Raid is super cool.
Yeah, I can't remember. Cool. I can't remember the last one, but I'll just say those four.
Matt, don't diss The Raid. The Raid is super cool. The Raid is...
No, it is, but it's a lot.
I don't think I've watched The Raid. I don't think I've watched The Raid.
It's not as much martial arts as it is kill.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that's why.
Yeah.
It's not so much martial arts.
I'm surprised we forgot The Warrior. Or
Warrior.
Sorry, not The Warrior. Warrior, because it's mixed martial arts. It's a mixed martial arts film with Dan Hardy as the antagonist, I believe. And yeah, it's a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. I will say
I didn't see that one in my dream.
Huh? I will say in terms of over the top favorite martial arts movies, Raid 2 has to be up there, right? Because that was a lot more martial arts central than Raid 1. And it's I'll never forget, blind girl, baseball bat guy.
Wait, Raid?
The Raid.
Oh, The Rain. Okay, sorry. I was like, wait, you mean the Ray Charles biopic? No, The Raid.
The Raid. But yeah, no, that was cool. Blind girl and baseball bat guy. Come on.
You know what? Now that you mentioned it, could you call Kill Bill a martial arts movie?
Ooh, yeah, no, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Like the fight scenes, I wouldn't go as far as say believable, but they were decent. Like they were decent, man.
Her versus the crazy 88s. That was not bad. That was.
No, that wasn't believable. Once again, this is the kind of.
But who cares? Who cares?
Justice lady, man. What are you talking about? There's like 80 of you.
Who cares? Who cares? Just get after it. Like what?
Literally, just. Yo, man, yeah.
No, but that, again, I think that was my friend's point about like, listen, these martial arts movies, of course, if you're going to compare them into the context of actual fighting, you're going to see a lot of holes. But that's not the point. The point is to watch and just be amazed, you know? Sit back.
Yeah, and to be fair, they do inspire real fighters all the time to do wild stuff, like out-of-the-box stuff. So, you know.
Rush Hour?
Art imitates real life.
I'm joking,
man. All right, Jeremy. Quick boxing news. What you got?
Next week is Danny Garcia versus Errol Spencer. Errol Spencer's return. So since his car crash, that's going to be in Dallas, Texas. So tune into that. Then the week after that, you got Anthony Joshua going up against Kubrat Pulev. And Joshua's WBA, WBO, and IBF heavyweight titles are on the line. And then on December 19th, it's Canelo Alvarez's first fight of the year and first fight not under
Golden Boy,
not under Golden Boy Promotions. And he's gonna fight a gentleman named Callum Smith. Callum Smith.
Quick question:
I know that guy.
Is he still? Is Canelo still under the Zone?
No.
This is gonna be his first under his own promotion.
Yeah. Already, wasn't that like $100 million deal or something like that? Like
yeah, and he got paid. He got his money.
Yeah. But he didn't do all his fights though. I'll look into it.
You'll have to research because I hate research.
When's this Ryan Garcia fellow fighting?
That's going to be next year, January 5th, I believe. Yeah, and he's going to fight, what's his name? Something. Jeez, what's his name? How's his name for you? Luke Campbell.
Wow, that's a tough test.
Yeah, it's going to be a tall order. But yeah, Canelo's putting up his WBA regular and super middleweight titles up. And then after that, on January 30th, you got round number 2 of Alexander Povetkin and Dillian White. Povetkin won, convincingly with a uppercut knockout in their first meeting, but I think they're going for round 2 because Dillian White wants to fight Joshua, and he needs to, get over this mountain before he does it. Because he was the favorite in the first meeting, but, I guess he lost himself and lost. So, which was going to happen to Jake Paul when he fights me. So,
hey, Jakey!
Man, I'm asking the people. I'm putting it up for the people. I'm pretty sure.
Jakey!
Yeah. So that's your boxing news, and somewhere down the line you'll see me, and I'll be promoting my own.
Jakey!
Jeremy, sorry, not Jeremy. Michael, when are you going to talk to Jeremy about the dangers of boxing?
I know the dangers of boxing. What, you think I just do it just because for the glory or something? I do it for the honor of stepping into the ring with another fighter.
It's your
David, why are you such a buzzkill? What's wrong with you, man?
Don't worry. Listen, I think we all understand.
Why is David frozen?
I think my connection is off. Anyway, I think we all understand that Jake Paul's for real.
Yeah, no, we know. And he's smart for getting his money too.
Yeah.
He's smart. Those brothers are smart. Those brothers are smart.
Man. Underrated.
It's just
they're businessmen.
It's just that let me know that Jakey.
Hey, Jakey, man, let me get this money, man. Put me in the ring with you, man. Let me get this money too. Let me get some bread, man.
We all gotta eat. No,
we all gotta eat.
All right. In all seriousness, next week is gonna be Vettori versus Hermanson. We might do a preview show for that. We might not. We'll let you know. And until next time, we got things to do. So, in this crazy mixed up world, where Jakey is scared of Jeremy, let me know. You know, terrified. No, I'm
scared of the greatest too.
Let me know that you got three things. You got life, you got family, and you got this podcast. Stay safe, everybody.
Peace.
Jakey. I can't lie. That was pretty funny.